Hello. Hey guys. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm clearly audible. That's a proof because you have answered it. Great. Let me share my screen. I see. Apology, we started a session late today because I had a function at my kid's school. So I was there and I got late. Somehow I thought of informing you guys before. So how did you guys come to know that we have a session at 1? Was it informed on the LMS portal?
Actually, counselor informed us.
Your
We got a
counselors
message
informed
on
you?
WhatsApp.
Yeah, yes. Even on LMS portal is also updated that the session is at 1 p.m.
Okay, so on LMS portal, where was it updated? Where can you see that?
1 second.
Because I'm trying to find that.
Sir, where we join the link, it's updated there on the link page Saturday. It's 1 to 3 I am
1 p.m. Yes, yes.
1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, okay. The time is updated there. Oh, I see. Okay. And you also got the message, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, that is good then. Fine. All right, guys. Thank you for the information. All right. So is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, great. So last session, we had an introductory session where we created our AWS account and we learned few things about the new account. So do you guys have any question? And
Uh,
I've also given, just a moment, I've also given you a little bit of homework that you have to create your account and create an IAM user, which is the identity and access management user. So is it done? Any questions? Go on.
Uh, Hello, sir. I'm Swapnil.
Yes.
Sir, I didn't join the last lecture.
Okay.
So, I have already created account for AWS, but
Okay.
in morning I just
Uh-huh.
1 hour before I was watching that lecture. So I have already account on AWS, but I didn't made a payment at that time. I only opened
Okay.
that. So can
No
I use
problem.
that account here? So can you guide me how to use that now? How to payment done? I'm not. I was not able to uh, do in. I only logged in
Okay.
on.
No problem. Just refer the last Sunday's recording. You will come to know about everything. Okay.
Yes, sir. No, I was referring that, but I was not able to see that payment method window
No, that,
after
yeah, that's
logging.
correct. Yeah, that's correct. Because while doing the payment from my account, I
Okay.
stopped the screen sharing because I didn't want you guys to see my credit card details. As simple as that.
Right, right. Yes, that
So,
right.
yeah, so that's very fair and simple. You have to mention your credit or debit card details over there and then move ahead with the payment method. That's it.
After logging in, I was not able to see where should I click for that payment method and all.
See, what's your name you said?
Swapnil.
Okay. You have to follow the session which we have done last Sunday. Look at the
Okay.
links which I have given. Plus, there is a bloggers page which I had given in the last session. And
Okay.
this is the one actually. I'll give you two links. I'm just pasting it on the chat. This one is the syllabus, and the next one is the roadmap to DevOps, where you will get few more links where you can get help how to create account on your AWS cloud platform. So have a look at the YouTube video and also the link and follow the procedure. Simple.
Okay. Thank you.
Plus, you can anytime check with your LMS portal for the last week's recording. So on the recording,
Right.
it was precisely mentioned. So there's no need to actually go to YouTube. But even if you do not get the answer to that, you can refer the YouTube videos. No problem.
Sorry to interrupt, Vikrant this side. Swapnil, if it's possible, I'll help you after this session if you don't have any issues.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, and one more thing from my side, actually, I was also not present in last session. I've created the account, and even I have created the second user which you showed. But I'm a bit confused about that. Is it did I have did a I mean in an exact way or not? So will it be possible for you to just check it and let me know? If it's possible, I can share my screen and show you.
No, sharing your screen will not be possible. Sorry, because we do
Okay,
not,
okay.
entertain that type of thing here. But what I can do is
Mhm.
I can share my screen,
Okay,
and here we will check that. No problem. When we'll start the session, I'll show you. Okay.
okay, good to go then. No problem.
All right. Any other questions before we start?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Nakin side. This is first session for me, and they have mentioned this is the first session actually. So how many session you are already done?
Actually, we have started last week on Sunday, so there's only one session. So and that session was an introductory session. That
Okay.
introductory session takes you through how to create an account on AWS cloud platform. And other than that, I have taken you guys through again the same thing which we do in the demonstration, that what will be the syllabus, how are we going to do, what are we going to do. So I recommend that you continue today, and you already have the LMS details, correct? So go there and check the recording of last week, and then you will come to know that where we have started and where are we heading to. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, we have just started the session last Sunday. We have discussed the same page which I am showing it to you on the screen now, and this page contains the information about what topics and syllabus we are going to cover. The same thing which has been portrayed in the demonstration. The same thing again was taken last Sunday to make everyone aware. So, and we also created the AWS account with all the steps. And with the AWS account, we created the user. The user means the AWS management console user. So that was the only activity which we did last week. So shouldn't take much time. People who have not joined last week, people who have joined today, and people who have registered, and people who have got login details to the LMS portal have full privilege to look at the recordings which happened last week. So after today's session, because today also I'm not going to address a lot of things, because you guys will get comfortable with what we will do today. So people who do not have an account, first of all, go and create their accounts. And once the accounts are created, from there you can start whatever things which we are learning on AWS. You have to practice it at your end. Okay. So yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, Amir and Nitin this side.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually I created a account, and after that I have created the IAM user account as well. But when I created that, in the region, it is set to be global. I'm not able to change that region. All the
So
regions are disabled.
users are global.
Okay.
Okay. Users are global. So we'll talk about users. Don't worry. Any other
Okay.
questions?
No, sir.
All
Hello.
right. Yes.
Is it mandatory to create new account if I already have AWS account?
Yeah. Go and create a new account. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, hi, Mr. This is Mangesh. I have created a new Gmail and created a new IAM user.
But I think some mindset, some forget some one step to give the access to IAM user. So after creating IAM user, so how to grant the access to IAM user?
Okay, we will see that. No problem.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? All right then. So I see a lot of people have a questions on IAM, right? So when you log into your management console, okay. So let's say you don't have any user now. Okay, you have logged in via the root user. Okay, so root user. Whenever you're logged into the root user, check your security credentials. First of all, this security credential means the security credentials for the root user, which means his own username and password. So if you want to change the username and password for this root user, you can come here and edit account name, email, and password. Okay, this is the page. Okay. Assign MFA device is not important to us right now because we are learning DevOps, keeping DevOps in mind and not the entire AWS course. So, not mandatory. But then if you want to find out what it is out of curiosity, you have full privilege to go and click and check what it is. Okay. But one more thing, please do not come up with your questions, things which are non-mandatory, as I have mentioned. Okay, that will not be entertained because we have other lot of content in the DevOps. So we will be concentrating on the DevOps course and not on the cloud platform. We are teaching you this syllabus, which means I am teaching. I'm the only trainer in this entire, fraternity who is teaching you the end-to-end concepts in DevOps, and I'm 200% sure there would be no other trainer would be actually teaching so much of content even on cloud and DevOps both. Okay, so that is a privilege to us. So we are going to explore all these things, right? But these things are taught because we need this in DevOps on any cloud platform tomorrow. So tomorrow when you go to interviews, you will not find this a new thing. You will find this that we already know this and we are good to go now, right? So, as I said, when I say it is not in scope, which means it is not in scope, but it does not mean that you cannot go and learn that. No, it means that it is not in a scope of our class. You guys have full privilege to go and explore it by yourself and then learn it by yourself. Okay. And for every single resource, we have, YouTube videos and Google links available to just have a look what exactly that is. Okay. So this is going to be a learning practice. All right. So let's say users. So this is the place where we can create users. Now, what is a user? Who is a user? When I created this account, I was root. Root means the administrator. Now, who is administrator? In Windows operating system, you know that the person who has the maximum privileges on an operating system is a administrator. Okay. Other than administrator, I can create many users on Windows. Correct? Every user, I can make him administrator. That privileges only administrator have, which means an administrator of Windows operating system can make other people administrators also. Correct? So we have done the same thing. All right. We have also done the same thing. When we came here, there was no user. Yesterday, last week, we created this user article by, clicking here. And then rest of the steps, you can look at the recording. So now this user, what access does he have? So click on that and come here. So he has administrator access. So this guy now can perform every activity which an administrator can do. Okay, this is the one. Plus, you can also remove the privileges from here. Okay, let's say add permission. If I want to add permission, I will click here, add permission. And then I will, add user to a group, copy permission from, existing user or attach policies directly, which means I want to attach it right now. And there will be a list of this one. So here, from here, you can attach a lot of policies. Okay. Now, what are policies? Policies means there are multiple services in AWS cloud platform. Okay. Let's say you can create a VM. You can create a storage. You can create a Kubernetes cluster. Okay. You can create a virtual private cloud. You can create a firewall. Now, these are all resources we know because we have worked with this, data centers and we know the client server architecture. For every resource, they have created a policies. Let's say this is one of the user. user 1. Okay. For user 1, what he can do on this compute, what he can do on the storage. So things like this are known as policies. So let's say user 1 can only read. Read means can only see how many virtual machines are created. That is a read policy. User 1 can also create virtual machines, which means that is write and execute, right? So these are permissions. And these permissions are known as policies in AWS Cloud Platform. And that is very much granular in nature for every resources. When I say resources, compute, storage, network, firewall, security group, virtual private cloud, Kubernetes cluster, all these things are resources. Okay. And every resource have very minute policies created by Amazon that your user can have a definite, understanding that what he's supposed to do on the platform. Simple as that. Make sense? All right. So I'm just going to cancel it because we are already administrator here. So we cannot actually have more permissions. But the question was, someone asked me that how I have missed something, permission or something. So come here and add permission by yourself, administrator access. Okay. And you can also remove it from here. Other than that, we can also change the password of this user from here, which I might have to do because I forgot the password. Management console access, set password, auto-generated custom password. So I'll keep it auto-generated. User must create new password at next sign in, which means I am informing him that whenever that user will log in next time, he should create a new password, right? So this is my current password. So I'll copy this. And what is the name of my user? Radical. So this will be the password.
No, are you changing the IAM password, right? IAM user, right?
Yeah. I think this is the one.
Right.
Correct. So this is the user IAM, and this one is, why did I create this one then? Okay, fine. Okay, so now I have to close this. Okay. Other thing is, we can now sign out. And then last week we have fetched this link, right? So we can directly go and browse this link. No need to wait for the console to come up. This link will open up. It will ask the user and the password will be the new one, correct? So old password. Change password. That's it. Update password. Now we are logged in as radical@username. And we will always do that. This is the standard practice. Okay. Whenever you guys will have an account on AWS as a root, you might not get root access all the time. You will always get the user access. So become user access. You also enjoy the root privileges, which means, if you don't want to work on this like this, again, sign out and then again become root. That's it. Okay. Sign into console. Here, there's an option sign in with using root email ID. The root user is the email ID, which means, the root user email address. So whatever you mention at the time of creating the account, you can do that. Make sense? Clear everyone now what is IAM user? Any question?
Yes, sir.
So it's fine if we work on root user also.
Yes. As I said, learn both.
Okay.
Sir, is there any password
expire policy in AWS? Means Linux is after 8 weeks or 2 month password will expire automatically. So
Yes, there are few things like that, that your user password will expire, but that option we need to enable, I think. Even I am not sure. Let's see if we have that on the users page.
Okay.
Security credentials, updated password time. Here, though, I don't see that.
Okay.
No, I don't see anything like here. Maybe we need to check the account settings if we can enable that option,
Okay,
if we
okay.
have it.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yes, we will create from our side user and share the password. After user will change the password from his side and he will be able to log in.
Correct.
If he want to change the password, then he will request for us to change
No,
that.
he can. I think he can also do that and change password. When he will log in, he will come here into his own security credential and he will do that.
Okay.
It is same like Windows, man. It is same like Windows. There is nothing new here.
But we need
Same
to
like
give the access to change the password. I think it's
yes.
bad. He will.
No, by default, nothing will happen here. We have already done that. If you go to IAM users, under user, you have this policy, IAM user change password. We have already given this privilege to the user.
Okay, sure.
So then he will be able to change the password. If we do not give this, he will not be able to change the password.
Yes. Right. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And
Now see,
can we log in both the users at the same time, like in different tabs, in one root login and in another one IAM login, like instead
on
of
the
doing
same on the
sign
same
out
browser,
every
you
time?
cannot log in. On the same browser, you cannot log in with the same user. If you want to do that, change alternate browsers. Use Firefox and then Chrome, or then you have one of the greatest browsers of all time, Internet Explorer or Edge. Use that with Chrome.
Okay. Like for
Yeah.
root and IAM, we have to use different browser. We can't log in at the same time. Root
Log in
and
at the
IAM.
same time. Correct.
Okay.
And one more thing, whatever you guys do, decide it now and then go ahead. Okay. I don't want you to do half activities with root and half with IAM. The reason is you will get highly confused if things does not work our way. Okay. Because when root creates something, the privileges go to the root. And if you start working on that resource and tomorrow you do something with the IAM, access, it is not going to work because the access to IAM is something different, even though if it has the administrator access. Then too, the privileges will be different. So either decide now that you are going to do with root or with the IAM user. Okay. I'm going to go ahead with root access because the other user is same as root. The only thing is the difference is his username is different. Otherwise, we both have administrators access. Make sense?
Okay, means we need to always do work as a root user. So for it is better for us.
We cannot be sure if you will get root user access every time in the organization. That is why I showed you this concept that if you are not a root user, you will be a normal user. And if you are a normal user, then you will be given privileges to work on various services. Okay. Those services will be which is dependent on you, or maybe you are dependent on them. You will not be given access to do everything and all the things on AWS because AWS serves you so many things. See, when you click here, click on services. These are the number of services. These are the, these are actually all the services by category. Do you think someone would be capable of performing everything here? There are a handful of people in this entire world who can actually do everything over here, and which does not make sense. Reason, there are privileges for people to create work of DevOps, work of a developer, work of a data scientist, work of an artificial intelligent product. Okay, work for logging and monitoring. So all the domains are different. Big data, analytics, see, Internet of Things. So we cannot go ahead and learn everything. We have to only learn things which are required from our domain's point of perspective. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. All right. Any more questions on IAM?
No.
And let's say, how to learn cloud platforms? Do you know what is cloud platform all about? Let's say IAM, right? This is one of the topics. Now, you have everything in front of you. Let's say you are a root user, you have gone to IAM. This is your search box, select from here. What is IAM? You don't know the full form also, no problem. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. Here you will get the answer to that, right? What are the privileges given to this particular page? So this page has a privilege to configure root user credentials because right now you are root user. You can create multiple users. You can create your own rules and policies, which means once you understand the service, around that service, maybe you will be able to create your own rules and policies. Okay. So next thing you guys would do is you would learn a little more about IAM. Okay. Now, how to learn that? I don't know where to get the link from, or how to you know learn and understand AWS. So every time you come up to learn a topic, IAM plus sign AWS. This is how you are going to search to Google. Okay. The moment you press enter, you will always come up with this thing. See, https docs.aws.com. Always refer to the documentation from Amazon. They are giving you free knowledge, free. You just need to go on that page and then identify what you want to learn here. Everything you will get on this page. Okay. So if you want to explore more out of what I have taught you, you have full privileges. Nobody is going to stop you. You can even prepare yourself by looking at the documentation. There are so detailed documentation that you can actually pass AWS Solutions Architect without even joining anybody's class. These are so elaborated in nature. Plus, they give you white papers. White papers are like your question papers. You take examinations as a trial for some time. Take 3 examinations. You're prepared for the examinations as well. Okay. So this is how you're going to learn each and every topic. Let's say we are learning Kubernetes cluster. So I'm going to teach you about Kubernetes because that is a standard topic. But how does it work on AWS? That also we are going to look in practical. But there may be few things which I may have not covered, or maybe I have forgotten to inform you. Then you have to come here, type the name of the service which is on Amazon, and then plus sign, and then AWS. It will provide you that information. So let's say, what is the AWS Kubernetes service known on this one? EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service plus AWS. So here you get the documentation for that. Okay, docs.aws.com. So for Kubernetes, whatever things you need to know, you will find it over here. Okay, make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, then. Now let's go and understand what are we supposed to do on this cloud platform. See, why we have chosen the cloud platform? Because we will learn DevOps. For DevOps, we need a number of servers. For a huge number of servers, we may not have that much of compute power on our local laptops or desktops. So we have chosen cloud platforms. Good thing about that is you will learn cloud platform side by side. Okay. Then you will also be ready for your, for your career growth, your future, because cloud is everywhere. You are going to work on cloud tomorrow somehow. So that will also be there. So both the things will get covered at the same time. Okay. So we have created this account and we are learning on AWS cloud. Why we have chosen AWS cloud? Because it gives you free account. The services here are more versatile, and you can create multiple accounts as you want. Create new email ID, create a new account, mention your same credit card details and start with a new account. Okay, this is a good privilege. Plus, even if your account gets suspended because of non-payment charges, they give you full privilege to contact the customer service. You contact the customer service, you inform them that you are a student and you were not aware of the charges. So please waive off the charges. They will do that also for you. Okay. To look how the, this, this request looks like, I have created a blogger's page for that also, which I am posting. So please take your own privilege and time to go and look at one of the cases I have created for my account. Okay. So you have the answer for this. So please do not come with this question again. Okay. Because I am just trying to save our own time. I don't want to waste time in between the sessions talking about how to waive off the charges. Right. So I've given you the link. Copy all the links at your end and store it as the bookmarks. Okay. Because you're going to need it by the end of this course. This page will show you how to get your charges waived off when you are charged by Amazon, because there are few services which we are going to use which are chargeable, like Kubernetes cluster, elastic file system. Okay. And then maybe 2 GB of RAM virtual machine, which we might use for Jenkins. Okay. So storages, volumes, Kubernetes cluster, all these things are chargeable. So you don't worry about the charges, that will get waived off, but there is a process. Okay. I will tell you the process in next session, maybe tomorrow or next week, and we will follow that process. But it was important to inform you, so I did that. Okay. All right. So in AWS Cloud Platform, the main purpose was to learn and understand the cloud platform. What is cloud platform? Basically, before we had a data center. In a data center, we had racks, and under the racks, we had servers. Okay. So every rack belonged to one user. You mean one company, one organization, or maybe one organization would purchase everything also. That is known as co-location. So let's say if I am hosting a web hosting company and that web hosting company is in UK, they have purchased the entire data center and that company owns the entire data center and all the servers. So can I say this company own their own cloud? They have their own cloud. Can I say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yes. The answer to that is yes, because that is what we are going to explore in the next 2-3 classes. The network, how the data center looks like, what is the difference between the cloud platform and the physical data center, what is networking in between, what is an IP, how do things communicate with each other. Okay. Because if you understand these things in, in a detailed manner or in the clear cut way, then other things will become easy for you. Other things you will feel ki, no, this is easy. DevOps is easy then. Because then your basics are clear. If your basics are not clear, then you might find it difficult, because everything till the end of this course, everything is, based on what we are doing today. Okay. So down the line 3 months, you will feel, okay, that is the reason we did this thing before. Okay, maybe. Okay. So concentrate on every session. Do not miss the session. Try to attend every sessions. Be punctual, interactive. Interactive means raise your hand before talking, or you can say, excuse me, and then talk. There's no problem in doing that. I entertain that. In fact, I love people when they are interactive. I love to answer the questions, but the questions should also make sense. We are professionals. We are matured enough, and we should understand how to handle the situations and how to, go with the flow. So things will come to your way. You have to be, behave like a professional. And then definitely this will help you to have a paradigm shift in your career down the line 3 months, as we have actually promised you. Okay. So right now, today, what we are going to do is we are going to simply create a virtual machine. Now, this virtual machine, once we create, we will understand a lot of things. And according to that, we will, define our clear picture that what other things we need to learn on the AWS cloud. So let's go and explore that service. So the name of the service which gives you virtual machine is known as EC2. Okay. EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Compute.
Sir, I have a small question. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Before going to uh, create a virtual machine, I need how it is cloud architecture and
Well,
what is cloud. Yeah,
as I said, we will see that. Okay. So you have to wait when that time comes,
okay, no
because
problems.
yeah, so don't worry about that. Leave that up to me, how to teach, what to teach, and when to teach. Okay. Your main objective should be just concentrate on what I am, because see, there is a flow. As I have told you, I have designed this course myself. So I'm never going to shuffle the content as per your whims and fancies. First thing. Okay. I'm going to teach you as per my flow, because I have gone through this patch. Okay. I have gone through this patch since I was learning the C language, I mean 9 years back. Okay. So what I thought is, if you teach a candidate in a proper way, in the way they are supposed to understand, it will make your life easy. Okay. So let me take it through, and accordingly we will learn each and everything what has been mentioned now. Okay. Clear?
Got it.
Excellent. All right. So basically we are going to create a server today. Okay, because we are going to perform each and every activity on the server. So for us, server is going to be everything, right? So now let's go and create a server on AWS Cloud Platform. And once we create the server, there are so many things on our way to understand that how this thing is possible, correct? So on Amazon Cloud Platform, the server, the service that gives you this privilege to create a virtual machine is EC2. So you type EC2, you come here on this dashboard. Okay, the name of the service is Elastic Cloud Compute, and this will provide you the page where you can create the virtual machine. Now, this virtual machine which will be created, where will it be created? It will be created in Oregon region, right? So as I told you yesterday, that whenever you come to work on AWS Cloud Platform, we first select the region. So which region we have selected? Oregon, correct? I've also informed last week that under Oregon, this is a geographical location, which means, on this entire globe, Oregon is one of the region. Now, under this region, you will at least have 2 to 3 data centers or maybe more. At least 2 and maybe 6, 7, 5, 4, whatever. So at least 2 and more than 2. So what are these? These are physical data centers. So now imagine if AWS has, AWS has this multiple regions, and every region have got more than 2 data centers. How many data centers does Amazon own? Okay. So this should be the first question in your mind. How many total? Okay. Second, if Amazon owns so much of data centers, are they connected to each other? Yes, that is connected to each other. Third question, if they're connected to each other, then do they work on the public domain or the private domain? So the answer to that is they work on both. Okay, because I am now accessing the public URL, correct? I do not have a firewall in between. So what does it mean? It's on public domain. Same like your Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, Gmail account. You can access that from entire globe, everywhere, correct? So these services are publicly available. All right. Okay. Now, if these data centers are so big in number, do I have privilege to create my own data center? So the answer is yes, but in another way, which means I cannot say Amazon, hey, look, I'm going to create one data center. This is my data center. Connect to it. No, it means this is my organization. Inside my organization, I have my own data center. Okay. Or maybe this is a data center in physical, and this is owned by some other third party company, but I have rented this entire data center for 10 years. So this becomes my property, and I can say Amazon that please connect me to your nearest region. This is possible. Okay. So this option is available with Amazon. And this option is known as a direct connect channel. Okay. Anyhow, we will talk about that later. But right now, Amazon owns n number of data centers across the globe. So that is why Amazon gives you privilege to create your account and then select the region and then create your resources as per your region. So let's say tomorrow you decided to come up with a application same like Hotstar. Okay. And that is only for Indian viewers. So what will you do? Will you create that in India or will you create that in Oregon? Right? Makes sense? So this is the question comes up when you want to create something for your users. Okay. So what are we doing here? And why are we learning this? Because we are the people who are going to help these people create their account, create their software application, and host it somewhere on the AWS cloud or Google cloud or Azure cloud using all the DevOps activities. We are going to help them. Make sense? So this everything becomes our product. Tomorrow you cannot say that I am a DevOps, I am not going to work on cloud. You have to work on cloud because other than that, there's no way. Tomorrow everything is going to move on cloud, right? So you need to understand these things. So in other words, Amazon owns number of data centers. They are all connected to each other. How they have connected, I'm not really sure because they have not disclosed it to us. So it's their problem how they have connected, but I know they are connected to each other, right? That is important for us to understand and learn. Second thing, if they own so much of data centers, from where do they get the IP address, right? So the answer to that is, guys, Amazon itself is a ISP, internet service provider. So they do not borrow or purchase IP addresses from other companies. They are the world's richest companies. Okay, this is one of the verticals of Amazon. So they also own a internet service provider license in the entire or the whole of America. So they have their own public and IP addresses, which they use in within their data centers. Make sense? So they do not hire or take rent or lease anything for their services from outside the other data centers. Make sense? Everything clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now tell me, what are we doing here? I want to create a virtual machine. So where are we creating the virtual machine?
In Oregon region.
Correct. And did I say that in one region there should be at least 2 or 4 data centers, right?
Yes.
So which data center am I creating this machine?
US West region.
You looked at this?
Yes.
No,
US
that's not
West.
correct.
Okay.
That is partially correct, but no, you don't have to look here. That is why I asked you this question. Okay. So no problem. We will answer to that. Okay. So guys, it's very important to understand, if I have selected the region Oregon, which data center will I create? Okay. This is the question. Other question is it really important? Does it really matter? Or does Amazon takes care of that automatically? Okay. So this, both the questions I will answer to you while creating the virtual machine. Okay. But anyways, somehow, one thing is for sure, okay, I am going to create a virtual machine in Oregon and that's final. So let's go and click on instances and say here launch instance. Okay. Then name something as per your desire, whatever you want to say. I will name this as test VM Linux. So that the name tells me that this is a Linux VM. Okay. Sorry, I'm starting with Linux because it's my privilege. I'm from the Linux background. So I do that. We will also do Windows, but later. Okay. Other more important thing I will tell you is that, see, we are into this cloud and DevOps fraternity. So let me tell you that the operating systems are divided into 2 parts. Same like, AD and BC. Same like we divide our ages into AD and BC. Same like that, this entire technology is divided into 2 things, Linux and Windows. 90% of the production servers you will always find on Linux. 10% you will find it on Windows. I'm telling you production servers. Let's say Hotstar. Hotstar is hosted on Linux. The supercomputers are hosted on Linux. Okay. The entire AWS cloud platform is hosted on Linux. Okay, the Google Cloud Platform is hosted on Linux, so you understand the importance of Linux. Okay, Windows is very important. I am not ignoring Windows, but Windows is a fantastic machine for end users, client users. Like now, I'm using my Windows laptop to take this class. Why? Because it gives me a beautiful UI. I can create multiple users. I can attach a Wi-Fi. I have a USB port. I can attach a Bluetooth wireless mouse to it. I open the Chrome browser. In Chrome browser, I can watch movies and play my videos, and I can do everything. This is Windows. This is a luxury experience. Correct? Who gives you this luxury? Windows. Linux does not give you luxury because that is not meant for luxury. Linux is meant for producing something out of nothing. Okay, which means it is a server. It will always serve you. Let's say you will click on a package which you want to download from Windows. Let's say we'll take an example. Name something which we can download very easily, and that should be zip package. This one everyone knows. Okay, zip file. Zip file download. Let's say, right? 7-zip. This is a very important tool these days. Download 7-zip. So what do? You click here, right? And then what will happen? You will get a lot of links that please download this version, this version, this version. So let's say download for 64-bit. Correct? What happened? It just got downloaded. You know one thing? This, whatever we have done, this link, we are using it on Windows. So it does not mean that this entire link is hosted on Windows. This can be Linux server also. And most of the times, these type of services are Linux. Okay, so they give you a UI also because you can create a web server on Linux. The web server looks like this. You can browse things, you can click on that. And the moment that click goes, when I clicked it, what happened? This request has gone to the server where this, domain is hosted. And this server can be anywhere in this globe. The request has gone there. The server has acknowledged your request that, okay, you're asking me a download. I will give you for free. The server gave you that thing. How? Now, this is the interface. This application, this interface becomes your actual interface from where you are downloading this. Okay, so this all seems like a miracle, but yes, there are technicality at the background. So this is how things happen. Okay, so this thing hosted is always on Linux. Things like this will always be on Linux. You may have a UI, but you will never understand whether it's a Windows or a Linux operating system. But things like this will 90% happen on Linux operating system. And that is the reason why Linux was created, to serve the user, to give him whatever he wants. Okay. And we are somehow becoming a part of it. We are going to create a software. Okay. I mean, we are not going to do that. The developer will do that for us. But after that, he creates the software. Our work as a DevOps engineer will start. We will take it from, from the scratch and put it on somewhere on the web server, and something like this will appear. The same thing, 7-zip, this application is created by somebody, we don't know, but we are able to see that. Same way, we are going to create our own application and we are going to work on that. Once you know how to work on that end to end, you can work on any application that comes to your way. Okay, because the logics, the concepts, and the tools which we are going to use till the end are going to remain same for your DevOps activities. All right. So let's go here and create a Linux virtual machine first. Second one is the image. This image means, I'm not really sure how many of you would have created a Linux or a Windows virtual machine at home, but I'm sure many of you would have created a Windows desktop at home, right? You used to bring that CD DVD and then insert in your desktop CPU, and then you have to change the boot drive to CD DVD, and then it boots from the C drive, D drive, and then it installs the operating system. Do you guys know that process?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? There may be people who have not done that. Okay, so no offense. That's absolutely fine. But this was the normal process. I'm talking this not too much, but just 5-6 years ago, this used to be a normal case. But today, this has become extremely rare. Okay, I do remember down the line 6 years from here, I used to take access on one of the data centers to one of the Linux and Windows machine and do some of the work and then come back, which means remote access. I do not used to go to the data center, remote access. Okay, I used to take the RDP for Windows and SSH for Linux from my local laptop from the company, which means the desktop machine. Now this age is gone. You will somehow get a chance to connect to the server on a data center because things are moving drastically on cloud. Okay, so things have changed over time. Same like that, this has also changed. Now, see, you don't have to connect any virtual image because the cloud providers are providing you the list of images. Okay, so in your spare time, whenever you get time, click on this browse AMIs. Okay, AMI means Amazon machine image. These images you can use as per your requirement. You have Linux, Windows. Okay, but in Linux, there are various distributions. I hope you guys know, or if you don't know, no problem. You will learn now. In Linux operating system, you have variants like Red Hat, CentOS, then Debian, Ubuntu, Fedora, Kali Linux, then SUSE Linux. These are the variants. You can say these are the distributions. Same like in Android, you know Android as a product, correct? But in Android, you have Android 1 to 11, then Marshmallow, and then Strawberry and Mango, Banana. I don't know whatever it was in the beginning. Now it has changed to something else. But what was that? These are known as distributions. Every version is different. Every version has a different feature. Make sense? This is also there in Linux operating system. Basically, let me tell you, it was there on the Linux operating system, so it came into Android because Android is also made up of Linux. I hope you guys know that. Okay, and the entire Linux operating system is created on the C platform. So the mother always remains the same. The mother of all languages is C. Okay, no matter which, whatever you do in the IT industry, C language will already be there. Without C language, it is not possible. Okay. So ultimately, your code needs to be compiled so that the processor will understand the binary language. And for that, at least you require a C language. Okay. So same like your Android, your Linux operating systems also have the variant. So now you understand what is the difference between the various Linux operating systems. All right. We are always going to use this, the first image. Why? There are two reasons. First reason is that this is the Amazon Linux AMI, because since I am using the Amazon cloud platform, so I should use their image, correct? So answer to that is no, that's not correct actually. The thing is, this image provides you a lot of pre-installed items which you will use in the future for DevOps. That is the reason we are going to use this image. Okay, things like AWS CLI, then EPEL repository. What is EPEL repository? We'll see that later. But this image is created out of CentOS. Now, what is CentOS? Okay, see, Linux operating system is further divided into two things. That is Red Hat, which is Red Hat distribution, where CentOS is also same like Red Hat. The difference is Red Hat is licensed, which means to use the Red Hat operating system, you have to pay license to Red Hat company. Second, the CentOS is the freeware, which means it's a copy, is the exact copy of Red Hat. But the brand is different, CentOS, and that is freeware, which means anybody can install CentOS on their home machine, work machine, production, or wherever. This is the difference between the Red Hat and CentOS. So this image is made out of free CentOS 7. Currently, the version is 8, CentOS 8 and Red Hat 8, but still it is not stable. Or maybe we are not using that. We are using the Red Hat 7 and CentOS 7 operating systems. And these operating systems are hugely, widely, and majorly used in the industries. So there is nothing new. Okay. After that, if you want to also explore other Linux distribution, I would recommend two operating systems. That is Ubuntu and Debian. That's it. No other variant you should try because this knowledge should be more than sufficient for you guys. Okay? So again, Ubuntu and Debian is out of scope. You can learn as per your curiosity. Right now, we are going to explore only CentOS 7, and that also the Amazon Linux 2 image, because we are not going to change images very often. Once the servers are created, we are going to stick to that and we are going to use that. Make sense? All right. So, yeah, let's go back. And oh, I came back. Anyways, launch instance, test VM. Okay, so we will select this image which is already selected. This is going to be 64-bit architecture. Instance type means how much CPU and memory you want to give to this virtual machine. Okay, so this we have to decide before. So you see, when you click here, you will get a lot of options. You should always select this one, free tier eligible. Okay, so you also have this 1 vCPU core, 1 GB RAM. We should always select this one. Wherever we have this free tier eligible, we should select this one. So this VM will come with 1 CPU and 1 GB RAM. Okay. Then comes the key pair login. Uh, Key pair login is something for the logging purpose. Let's say your virtual machine is created. How will you log into the machine? You require the DNS or the IP address of that machine, correct? So that Amazon Cloud Platform will give you. But after you log in, it will ask you for the username and password, correct? I mean, I'm sure that you guys know this for the fact that whenever you log into your own laptops also, it will ask you for the username and password, correct? So we know this checking. The same thing here. But the problem is, it's not a problem actually. It's a matter of techniques. On any cloud platform, you cannot log in with the username and password, except Windows. I'm talking about Linux. On Linux, the login methods are public key and private key. This is one of the most secured methods of login. Okay. We will understand public key and private key later. Right now, you understand that to enter the house, you require a key. Correct? So what do? Do you carry the lock and the key both with you? No. The lock will remain with the house till the time you come back and you take the key with you. Right? This is the logic. So this is the same thing. So what Amazon is telling you, do you have a lock? You will say no, because I am new to this region. So I don't have it. Right? So it will tell you, okay, then create a new key pair, which means create a new pair, lock and key. So we'll say, okay, fine. Let's do that. Okay. Enter the key pair name. Now always enter the key pair name in such a way that you remember it. You do not forget it. Okay. So for me, it is always the name of the batch. So let's go and take this name. Radical January 2023 weekend 12 p.m. More specific. Okay. Rest everything you keep it as it is. And then say one second. .ppk. There are two things. I used to teach this method before, but now Amazon has improved one thing. And what is that? If they give you the .pem format, you can actually create a .ppk with that. Okay. And you can directly get the .ppk also from Amazon. So we are going to use this now. We are going to discard that method, because that method I will teach you when we will actually learn how to do passwordless authentication. Okay. So what we'll do is you have to select this one and then .ppk and then say create key pair. So you see, you will already get the .ppk file. Okay. What you have to do is go to the folder, copy that file and paste it somewhere where you're going to remember it. Why? Because you're going to need that every time. So you have to go to the folder, let's say SSH keys and AWS credits. I've created a folder here and paste it. Okay. And remember where you have copied and pasted it, because if you lost the key, you will never be able to log in back to this virtual machine. Okay. Same like your home lock and key. What happens when you lost your key? You'll have to ask the key maker to make it for you, correct? So there you have an option. Here you do not have an option. You cannot log into that VM and you will have to forget that VM forever. Okay. There is a hack which is there on YouTube's and this and that, but I don't recommend that hack. Okay. Because Amazon, whenever they want, they will remove that hack also. So let's forget about that option. Okay. So if you forget the key, you cannot log into that VM again. So please make a note of this. And this particular key, which we have just downloaded, is sufficient for this entire region, which means one key will be able to help you to log into all the Linux and Windows virtual machines under this region. Make sense? All right. So next option, what does it tell you? Network. Now, this is one of the most important topics of this virtual machine creation. If you understand this, you understand everything in the virtual private cloud, the Amazon data center, and then how does IP addressing works. Now see, here they have already given you a network, VPC. VPC stands for a virtual private cloud, correct? What does it mean? Amazon has already decided a network for you. Okay, that network has a IP address and a subnet. Now, what is IP address? What is subnet? We will again talk about this later in next session. But right now, consider this thing. Amazon is asking you about which network this virtual machine will be created. So let's understand this now. Let's say I told you in Oregon, there are going to be data centers, correct? So let's assume these are the data centers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We say I know that it has 4 data centers because if you click here, edit, you will see that you only have one VPC, which means they have already decided a network for you. That is 172.168.0.0/16. What does it mean? They have already created one network for you as a user, only for you, okay? Only for you. And that VPC is in Oregon region. Now this region has got 4 data centers, so you will find it over here, subnets. Basically under subnet, the entities which you find, that is known as an availability zone. So in Amazon cloud, a physical data center is known as an availability zone. And whenever you create a virtual machine, you create it in a physical availability zone, a physical data center. So this is going to be your data center. So the moment you select the data center, there also you will automatically get the total IP addresses available and which CIDR you are going to use. What is CIDR? Classless inter-domain routing. That is a networking concept. We'll talk about that later. But somehow understand that these all 4 data centers belong to one particular network, and that is known as a VPC. So all these 4 data centers are going to be a part of each other, which means they will form a cluster. So you create VM here or here, they are going to communicate with each other. You create VM here or here, you're going to communicate with each other. This is the goodness of a network, and that is known as virtual private cloud. Okay, you can restrict the traffic, that is in our hand, that I don't want this VM to communicate with this VM, that I can do. But the default method is, or the default meaning is, they are all in a same network and they are going to by default communicate with each other, forming a large scale and enterprise cluster. Okay. So if you want to always learn that how cluster works in data centers, I want to create that myself. You have a excellent chance in this class to create your own cluster. Okay, because we are going to do that. So now clear what is virtual private cloud and what is availability zone. Now our target is the moment we learn and understand how to create a VM and how does it operate, tomorrow we are going to create our own VPC. We are going to create our own data centers in our own availability zones, and then we are going to create our own VMs inside that, and then we are going to connect to that. This is our target. So if you do that, you will understand the infrastructure on AWS, and then you start creating your own resources. And the same thing will happen for every resource. Under your VPC, you can create your Kubernetes cluster, storage, IAM. IAM is global and somehow. Then your storage devices, firewall rules, and then whatever resources comes to your mind, you can create everything under this, and this becomes your product. You can host your entire application here. So at the end of the day, you learn the entire product. If you are able to work on one product, you will be able to work on multiple products. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask something.
Go on.
Sir, so the cluster is a collection of 4 subnets, right?
No. The cluster is a collection of multiple servers under the same network.
Okay.
Okay. They have divided into subnet because they want to show you that they have got 4 data centers, and every data center can be known as a subnet. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And one more thing. There is one more thing that is not necessary. The cluster should always have one network. There can be 2 different networks, 10.10.0.0 and then 192.168. If you connect both these networks together, and then inside also that you can form a cluster, that is also known as a cluster. Okay. But that is a additional thing which we are supposed to learn. Right now, do not get confused with these things. A cluster means a fleet of servers or storage devices or network devices. When they all form one particular network, that is known as a cluster. That should be fine for you. All right. Now, the last and the final thing is firewall. In Amazon Cloud Platform, firewall is known as security group. So please make a note of this and start memorizing things, guys. See, I think I have told this in the last session also, how you guys are going to do practice. So if you don't know that, please follow my last session, and then you will be, answered with a lot of things. You have to just look and watch what I do in the class. Ask me questions, and you can ask me anything. I mean, related to the syllabus, not my personal life or yours. So once we, look at the sessions, and once we think of practicing it later, you will sit down and look at the video, look at the recording at one place because it opens on your browser itself. Look at the video 10-15 minutes and then practice. Then after your 10-15 minute practice is done, again look at the video, understand what I'm doing. Then again you practice. Do not look at the video entirely 2 hours and then start practicing, because you will not be able to remember what happened 2 hours back. So the standard practice is look at the video 10-15 minutes, then practice, then 10-15 minutes practice. This is how you are going to learn. Plus, when you do the practice now, make sure you feel that this is the final time I'm doing this. This is the first and the final time. Only then you will learn fast, expedite the process. Otherwise, if you think, I have a lot of time in this world, after this batch also I can join another batch in Radical, and then after that also I can join, and then after that also I can join. If you think like this, you will never learn. Trust me, you have that privilege, and that privileges are for people who really have a genuine problem, right? Their family members would not feel better. They themselves are not well, or, due to some reason, they could not, continue with the batch. There could be problems. That is completely understandable. But this thing is specifically for those people who think that, ठीक है, आज पढ़ लेते हैं, समझ में आया तो ठीक है, नहीं तो अगली बार फिर से करेंगे. Never do this. Don't take, challenges like this. Challenge should be like, it should, hit your gut feeling. I have to do this with this attempt only. This is something which is going to make your career, and actually that will give you a feeling of a man, a personality. And you should always carry that with you. All right. So you guys will start eating almonds also every night, which is non-mandatory, but for me it is very important because I ask you questions and you should be able to answer to that. And only those people who are sharp enough and interactive will answer to the questions. And people who are answering the questions can take this as, they're answering it in interview, because I always ask those questions only which are asked in the interviews. So, by the same time, you're getting prepared for the other round of this one. Okay. So what is firewall known as? Security groups. So what happens is, the first time you create the VM in your account, it will, it will not have the existing security group. See, if you click here, there is nothing, correct? So there is a default security group, but we are not going to select that. What we are going to do is, we are going to create a new one. Create security group, okay? Change the name to MySG, and the description also to MySG. Okay. What is basically firewall? Do you guys know what is a firewall? So the firewall is, let's say this is your virtual machine, correct? Now every virtual machine will have an operating system inside that. And every operating system also has a firewall in that. Firewall basically terminates or restricts the unwanted traffic to your virtual machine. Let's say this VM is your Windows VM, correct? And this is hosted on Amazon cloud. And this is my public cloud, google.com. And I'm here at my home using the public internet. And I want to do an RDP to this Windows VM, correct? Every connection is in place, no problem. I'm making a connection. But the Windows firewall here is looking at the IP address of my VM, the source IP, from where the request is coming. And actually, I have denied that in the firewall. So you know what will happen? This firewall will deny the traffic. It will not let it enter the core of the operating system. That is known as a firewall. Now, this firewall is within the operating system. But right now, what I'm talking about is the physical firewall with Amazon. So before the VM, there is this firewall. So let's say if I'm the user here, if I hit the RDP to this VM, it will have to travel from here. So if the traffic is allowed, this traffic will go to the VM. If the traffic is not allowed, it will terminate it then and there. This is known as a firewall. Okay. So every request coming inside your server and going outside your server will be taken care of by the firewall. Okay. So since it is a Linux machine, port number 22 and the protocol type SSH is already mentioned here. Okay. So here is the list of protocols. So if you guys don't know, then for your information, Linux operating systems does not have a graphical user interface same like Windows. It is a black screen. And that black screen is known as a shell. That shell is known as a secure shell. And that is known as SSH, secure shell. That works on port number 22. Okay, now what is port number? Do you know what is a port number? Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, we are talking about a server. Now this server has a Linux or Windows operating system, doesn't matter. Every server has 65,535 ports on its motherboard. And what are these ports? Ports are the number of ways I can go inside the server and come outside the server. So this, you can take that as tunnels or the pipes which are there at your home. You have multiple pipes in your home. You have sinks in your washrooms. You have your sinks at your, kitchen. You also have sinks in your gallery, on the rooftop, and you have everywhere. How they all connect to each other? Through the pipes, correct? So it's an inlet and outlet. Same thing. The traffic coming inside your server and going outside the server can only happen through a port, and that is known as a port. So port is same as tunnel. Make sense? And how many tunnels do you have? 65,535. Make sense? So every service works on a particular port number. Same like that, SSH works on port number 22. What is the port number for RDP?
$3,389.
Excellent. 3389. What is the port number for DNS?
53.
Very good. People who are answering have already worked on this and they already know, that's why they are answering. People who do not know this, do not get demoralized. You have to learn it. This is your time, okay? So that's why I'm asking this question. What is the port number for FTP?
21.
21.
Correct. FTP is a file transfer protocol, which means the moment you copy your local file to your Google Drive, that is a file transfer protocol. Okay. All right. Then what is this SMTP?
25.
Yeah, but what is it?
Simple mail transfer protocol.
Simple mail transfer protocol.
Correct. So when you use your Gmail and send a mail to another person, okay, that service is known as simple mail transfer protocol, and that works on port number 25. So if you're sending a mail from your local laptop, and if it is able to send it, what does it mean? Few ports are open on your local laptop, and 25 is one of them. Okay. Port number 110 will also be open because mail directly doesn't work on 25. It works on IMAP and POP3. These are the two children of SMTP. So port number 110 and 125, I guess so. These ports should be open in your laptop or desktop as well. Okay, makes sense? So this is about SMTP and the other ports. There are other ports also, but right now we are not going to stick to that. We are going to move ahead with it. So you have to select what port number you want to open. Just give me a okay, guys. So we have to make sure as a admin that if I'm creating a Linux VM, which port I will open. Let's say you're creating a Linux VM. Will you open port number RDP here? Let's say you have an RDP option here. Will you open this RDP? No, right? Because it will not make sense. If it is a Linux VM, what will 3389 do there? Correct. So that is all logical part here. So come here and select the proper service SSH. Automatically port number will come here because this tab is intelligent. And here in the source type means from where the traffic is going to come to the virtual machine created in Oregon. So I am going to hit the traffic. I am sitting at home. I'm using my public Wi-Fi. So the source should be anywhere. Okay, always remember this. Source should be anywhere, and that's it. Okay. And rest, it is going to give you a 8 GB hard drive, and that this much information should be more than sufficient for you right now to create a virtual machine. And then you click launch instance. That's it. What will happen? You have informed your Amazon Cloud Platform to create a virtual machine in one of the data centers in your Oregon region. Somehow it failed. Let me see. Okay. It is telling you that I have chosen T2.micro and this zone is not supported, which means this data center is not supporting that. So what we do is we come here and change the subnet. We will select the US West 2A. Okay. Launch. Okay, done. Then click on view instances. So this EC2 instances page or the dashboard for instances will open. This will here you will see all your instances under your account, under your region. Okay. Do not do like this. You created a region in Oregon and then tomorrow you're coming here and checking North Virginia. See, on North Virginia, you will not find that VM because that is not created over there. See, North Virginia के page पे, you will never find this VM. Why? Because it is not created in that region. So this console will work for every region, for every data center on the planet. This management console. That is why this is known as AWS management console. You can manage the entire cloud platform from here. Okay. Same like this instance, you can create any resource in any region that comes to your mind or whatever is created in the console. Make sense, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now you see, guys, you should be, people who have already done this, good for them. This will be a brush up for them. People who are new will try and understand this thing that They have done a very fair job of creating this virtual machine because so many things you have to keep in mind: network, IP, firewall, port number, the amount of disk storage given to that virtual machine, the name of the VM, right? How to connect to the VM using the public IP or the private IP. How to connect public, I mean the password or the public key, private key method. There are so many things to keep in mind, correct? You have kept all these things in mind, so you were able to create the VM. This is the proof of that. Okay. All right. Now, when you create a machine, click on the machine, you will get the information. See, public IP is given from Amazon. How to justify that? Copy the IP address, go to Google and type whois.com. This is a publicly available site and paste your IP here. Okay. And then search whois. Here you will come to know who this IP address belongs to or which subnet this IP is. This IP address 34.192 belongs to .10 CIDR and it belongs to Amazon Technologies Incorporate. And this should be in Seattle. The company is registered in Seattle. And I'm sure you guys know that Seattle is in America, right? So this is how you search whose public IP address it belongs to. Same like that, you can also check this. What is my IP? What does it tell you, you know? What does it tell you?
Your ISP IP address, IPv4 and IPv6.
Correct. Now I'm using this public Wi-Fi. Do I see that public IP address on my command prompt? This is my Windows ka command prompt. Command is ipconfig. Do I see the public IP here? No. This is the IP address of my Wi-Fi router. Basically, this is my Wi-Fi router and this is the IP of my machine. Right? So you will never be able to see the public IP of your VM. You will only be able to see the public IP of your internet connection on the browser like this. Okay? Click on what's my IP. Whatever comes here, 103.51 is my public IP. So if I take this IP and again go here and search, you'll find who is my internet service provider. So it's GBPS networks. Okay. So like this, you will be able to find it. So you see, all these things are important. So people who already knew this well and good, as I said, people who didn't know this and this was the first time exploring this, there are so many things already coming up your way. You're going to learn and understand. Okay. So Amazon will give you the public IP. It will also give you the private IP. Now you see this private IP belongs to your subnet. What does it mean? One of the data centers. Which data center we selected? US West 2A. One data center in one particular availability zone, correct? So that availability zone was given a network. So this IP came from that network. And as I told you, this all four data centers is a part of VPC. So VPC is given a CIDR of 172.16.1. Sorry, 172.31.0.0/16. Okay. Now what is /16? How many IP addresses does it come with? We will talk about that tomorrow. Right now, understand that nothing is happening automatically here. Okay. Nothing. Not even a single click will happen automatically over here. It is all programmed in such a way that whatever you as a user understands and you do or perform or execute is going to happen here. Nothing is going to happen automatically. Okay. So now I know how it gets the public IP and I also know how it gets the private IP because it's a part of default VPC from Amazon. And under the VPC, it is a part of a default subnet. Subnet is actually one of the data centers, and that data center was already assigned the private IP range. And inside from that range, the IP was given. That's it. Okay. Other than that, there are public DNS and private DNS. Now, this is a free service from Amazon. So I'm very happy about this. You know why? Because instead of public and private IP, I can also use the public and private DNS of these VMs to communicate. That you already know, right? Because you're working in the organizations. I'm sure that you're not working with the IPs, you're working with the URLs. Okay, let's say, 1 second. This batch recently got over, so maybe still not suspended this account. Yeah, still not. Excellent. So you see, what we do is we create a load balancer on the Kubernetes cluster in the Amazon cloud, and it provides me with the domain name of the load balancer. It doesn't provide me with the IP. So this is the indication to that. See this one. What is this? This is known as a URL, Uniform Resource Locator. This is also known as a fully qualified domain name of my website. This is my website. I have created this. We are going to work on things like this. Okay. I have created it, which means I'm not creating it. Our developer will create it. And we as a DevOps engineer are going to work on that. So basically, we will be called as developers only by the end of this course. But somehow we are going to work on the application like this. This is hosted on a web server. Okay. So we are going to create web services, work on the web servers, and work on these URLs as well. So this is a fully qualified domain name. Okay. Domain name. Behind the domain name, there will always be this public IP address. Always. So you can use either the public IP or the public domain name. So here, see, they have given you private IP DNS and public also. So if you host a web server on this VM, you can access this VM using the public IP or the public DNS. This is what it means. Okay. To learn more, go to Google and type DNS and then read and understand what is the DNS service, what it does, what is the port number. This is going to be a part of your extracurricular learnings. Okay. But this is somehow will become a part of your, destiny tomorrow, because we are going to deal with a lot of things like this. The public IP, the public DNS, and the private IP, the private DNS, all that. Make sense, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Excellent. So I'm going to stop here today. Okay. And I want you to get a fair chance to launch your virtual machines by yourself today. So people who have already created this account, go and create this. And people who have not, then create your accounts first and then do this. So from tomorrow, we are going to connect to this VM, create Windows machine, understand few things again on the Linux and Windows part, and then start on networking so that we understand the network part. And this is how we are going to gradually, progress with the course. Okay, makes sense? And while learning networking, I will make sure that you understand what is networking and then what is the difference between your physical data center and cloud. What is cloud? What does it offer? So slowly and steadily, you guys will learn that. But that will only happen if you guys do practice. Now, this is one of the most important things. Okay. If I am doing it in front of you, that does not mean you have done that. Okay. So please make a note of this. You are just referring to what I'm saying and you are listening to what I'm saying and you are going to be following that. Okay. So that does not mean that you have completed the project. Completing the project means you are going to do everything on your own with your own hands in your own account. Make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So do that and do that from the beginning, because if tomorrow, after a month or so, if you come to me and say that, no, sir, I have not understood it and I was not able to do that, I could not understand it, that is going to be personally your issue and not mine. Okay. Let me be very precise about this, because when I'm teaching it, please practice it on time and come to me and ask me questions. If you do that after 1 month or 2 months, I will answer to that. But you know how painful it should be for anybody whose course has gone very far. Let's say we are on the fourth topic of the session and you're talking to me about the first chapter. It is not going to look good. Other people are also there. So work as a team. You have been given the LMS portal. So communicate with, the other people there if you want. You can also share your each other's WhatsApp numbers and do that. There's nobody's going to stop you. Okay. Even I'm going to, ask Radical to create a WhatsApp group for us. Let me see how, fast can we get it. but this is how we are going to learn, guys. Okay, this is going to make your life easy. Practice each and every topic every day as it finishes. Okay, after few moments, the link will be available on your LMS portal, so you can have the recordings over there. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so last and final thing, you select the VM. You come here, you can stop, reboot, and terminate. Terminate means delete, which means you cannot retrieve the VM back. Stop means it will be stopped and you can start it back. Reboot means restarting the VM. Terminate means delete it forever. I have deleted it because tomorrow I will create it again, right? So very simple. That's it then. Let's close it. All right. That's it from my end today. Any questions?
No, sir.
No. Everything is good.
All right, great. So continue with your practice and we'll see each other tomorrow at 12. Tomorrow the class will be at 12. No changes for that. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.